Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make cold brew coffee. So cold brew coffee is super easy to make. Some of the benefits to having cold brew coffee is it's ready for you in the morning. It contains less acid than normal coffee. It's less bitter. It can be stronger. You can serve it hot or cold depending on what you prefer. I'm using coffee beans that were picked up in Costa Rica by my brother-in-law and his family. You can use really any kind of coffee beans that you maybe just have sitting around. It's said that some of the best coffee beans that you can use though for cold brew is Ethiopian coffee beans. So you're gonna wanna get whole coffee beans, or you're gonna wanna use coarsely ground coffee. I'm gonna grind my own. You don't want it too finely ground because then it's gonna bring out more bitterness and acid from it. You want it coarsely ground to kind of let the water do its magic to the bean. So I have this coffee grinder. It has different settings on it. It's got fine, medium, and coarse ground on here. I think this was like 30 bucks. You can get like a hand cranked one that is pretty cool, or you can do what I've done in the past, put the coffee in a Ziploc bag and bang it with a hammer. So the recipe I'm using is going to be 9 cups of water and 2 cups of ground coffee. So we're going to grind the coffee, we're going to put it in the water, and we're going to let it sit overnight, and that's basically it. But this is going to be a coffee concentrate, so basically the amount of water you have here, which is about this full, end product will be double that. So you can keep it in your fridge and then just pour it out and then add equal parts of water to it as you go along throughout the week. If you want to make a smaller batch or you don't want to make as much of this coffee at once, you can break down that ratio. 1/3 cup of ground coffee to 1.5 cups of water. Same ratio, I'm just expanding it out a bit so I don't have to do it more than once a week. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna pulse it and kind of shake it just to make sure that the coffee beans are ground up evenly. And as you can see there, it's not finely ground. There's some bigger chunks and there's some smaller chunks, but it's coarse, so there's no definition really to what it should be. But we're gonna get 2 cups of it. If you're just making regular coffee too, benefit to grinding your own coffee beans is like it's way fresher. You grind it right before you use it. A lot of that flavor hasn't had time to like evaporate out of it. And that's what the coffee beans look like before I grind it. So there we go, we have 2 cups of coarsely ground coffee beans, 9 cups of water. This is gonna be a concentrate, so you don't really need to worry too much about the amount of water in coffee per se. You're gonna dilute it with water anyway. You're not gonna wanna drink this as it is when it's done. You're gonna wanna add water to it, otherwise it's just gonna be way too strong. So generally speaking, we'll use an equal part of this mixture once it's sat for 12 to 24 hours. We'll use an equal amount of water to dilute that. But depending on how you like your coffee, you can either dilute it with more water than that or less water than that. We're just gonna dump that in there, stir that up, and that's basically it. We're gonna let this sit on the counter for anywhere from 12 hours to 24 hours. Starbucks does theirs for 20 hours. I like my coffee stronger. I'm gonna let it do it for 20 hours. That'll just give it time to extract more caffeine out of it. The longer you let it sit, the more caffeine it will extract. If you let it sit too long, some of that bitterness is gonna come out and maybe more acid. We're using room temperature water. You can use cold or room temperature. You don't wanna use hot water. The benefit to doing the cold brew is that you're not using hot water and it extracts less of that acid and that bitterness. So we're gonna let it sit on the counter overnight. Probably for like 20 hours or so. I'm gonna stir it like maybe every couple hours or so just to make sure the extraction is happening. You'll get some coffee beans that float on the top. I just wanna make sure those get submerged and evenly dispersed. So instead of using water in this, you could use something like maybe like coconut water even to give it a little, getting a little crazy with the cheese whiz. For my purposes, I'm gonna experiment a little bit. I've never done this before. I'm gonna 2 cinnamon sticks and 2 cloves. I'm using unfiltered tap water. I mean, I feel comfortable drinking the water out of the tap at my house, so you could use distilled water or filtered water if you wish. But actually, I mean, there's more regulations on tap water than there is on bottled water. So generally speaking, depending on where you live, tap water can be safer than bottled water that you buy in the store. So yeah, I'll see you back here in a bit and we'll do the rest of it. All right, so it's been 16 and a half hours. One important thing when you do this is you want to make sure that you schedule when you're gonna do this so that you're gonna be at home when you need to do this. I gotta go to work, so I can't wait 20 hours. Let's strain it. So I strained it once to this fine mesh strainer. I'm gonna strain it a second time. You can use a coffee filter. Here I'm using just paper towels. And this will get all the sediment off the bottom. Okay. So now I'm just gonna pour a little bit before I go to work. I give myself 1 cup of this concentrate and 1 cup of water. Stir it up a bit. That tastes pretty good and pretty smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. And then it's basically ready to go. Just need to add water to it. You can add water to it now, or you can add water to it later. You can add your flavorings as you pour it. Yeah, hope you enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe.